I think it's good time for top 3.
So, in honor of Shaun's
campaign
for Postmaster General, we are going to do a top 3. Was it best fun facts, favorite facts?
Favorite facts about the U.S. Postal Service.
So, and I just want to say that I love the post office. I went to the post office when I put together my first punk rock compilation with bands all over Texas using the Postal Service. I did this with a band from Russia. I got a fucking package from Russia in the postal system. You know, like, it was a fun way for me to, like, meet and interact with these people that, like, at the time as a 16 or 17-year-old kid, I was not able to do. Plus, I love getting letters. I love getting letters from people. You know, it was really great. So I love the post office. Our friend John Napick is a postal carrier. We love him.
We appreciate what he does.
We do. I do appreciate it. I love talking to him.
The sweet dogs that he meets on his route.
And a cat today. So keep him coming. Yeah, man. He saw a cat today. I'll go ahead and start. I think that I got some good ones I found. From 1914 to 1920, they had a farm-to-table program where farmers could, like, arrange postage with people in the city and the post office to send them all kinds of things, like bacon, eggs, like lard. Lard and butter ended up being the things that were, like, most, like, people were like, yeah, I need that. I can get avocado. No one goes having avocado. I can get...
Hipsters in early 20th.
I really was. I was like, some hipster was in my mind going, I need avocado. But yeah, I thought that was kind of an innovative and fun, like, program. You could essentially ship your eggs and your provisions from farms out in the rural areas of our country to the city dwellers. It was really cool.
That is interesting. So I'm presenting mine in no particular order. These are just 3 facts that I find fascinating as the guy who really deserves to and wants to run the U.S. Post Office and make it soar the way it used to, you know?
Right. Absolutely.
I feel, you know, these are the facts that really brought it home to me how important it is. So, and, you know, most of these aren't going to be any big surprise to our friend John Napick, but maybe they'll be new to our listeners. So here's a fun thing, and this one John has to know. So if one postal carrier wants to take over another's route, they have to have a contest of either brawn or brain. So they get to choose the weapon. So the challenge,
like Highlander? Not like Highlander in that.
No, because there's a sword. You got to cut off their head in Highlander.
Yeah, but it is like a challenge and stuff. I guess it's really just like a rival, you know, turf war.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what every new postal carrier has to do to get a route, is to push somebody else out. Because let's be honest, the Postal Service is full of these great jobs where you get to meet dogs every day, you know, and everybody wants to work for the post office. So, like, to take over, you have to edge somebody out.
Sure.
And the challenger gets to pick the medium of the challenge.
Wow. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you could pick in television games, if you were so inclined. You could pick dueling pistols. Some of the contests end in death, and that is legal under the post office's charter. So, you know, I encourage all of our listeners to go find, there's actually a really good history of postal rivalry and challenges written by, oh God, what was his name? Isaac Thorne was his name, and it was called Postal Post Death.
Postal Post Death.
Not a great title, I admit, but it's a great. Check it out. It was #1 on the New York Times bestseller list.
Wow. Okay. For how long?
60 weeks.
16 or 60? 60. Wow.
A year and change. It's at the top of that list. I'm surprised you haven't heard of this.
I was thinking, it's wild that has escaped me, but.
Well, you know, I worked at a bookstore for a while.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get it completely. Okay. Are there any, like, other, you know, rituals to this? Like any sort of, like, you know, chanting that goes on as the other? Because I assume there's some sort of witnesses.
Arena.
someone that.
Every post office in America that's a freestanding post office. So if there's like a post office in your
they have a fight club.
There is an arena in the bottom that has like bleachers and an octagon. And whatever the contest is has to happen in the octagon. So
the mat is made of like undeliverable mail.
In some places, yes. In other places, it's made from the skins of the losers.
Wow.
Yeah, and they just add to it.
I thought I had some interesting facts, but this is...
Yeah, this shit is... It's so weird more people don't know about this, and that this book didn't, like, change anything. This still goes on.
Yeah, like, it almost feels like it should have been this generation's...
Watergate?
Well, no, the book that... who wrote about the meatpacking...
The Jungle?
Yes, it should have been like an Upton Sinclair novel. I am surprised, and apparently it was very popular, but it didn't. Are you sure it wasn't fiction?
No, it was in the nonfiction bestsellers.
Okay. That's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah.
Heavy.
I'd love to hear from Napick what his challenge was and how he won.
And if he's been challenged since. That's
true. Has he had to fend off any rogue carriers? And I'm not sure about this, but, he recently moved from Texas to Oklahoma. Yeah. So he probably had to challenge a carrier there to get a route. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't just get a transfer. It's not like once you're in. It's like, you're good for now.
You're good until you're not good.
In the game of postal carriers, you either win or you die.
Right. I mean, it's very, very heavy responsibility and also a heavy
privilege.
Yeah, I would agree. This is my next fact is a fact that will make you very happy.
Oh, good.
The Postmaster General is actually one of the highest paid executive office holders. The Postmaster General makes $267,000 a year, while the Vice President of the United States, who is a heartbeat away from the presidency, makes $230,000 a year. Now, I'm saying this like this is an astronomical amount of money to me, like just so everyone is clear. Yeah. So I'm excited for you to get this job. And again, bullshit that you didn't get it. Because you need to be you got to get that paper, all right? Like, that is what you need. And that you're going to get it in multiple ways as the Postmaster General.
Right.
You're going to get paid, and you're going to get paid to push the other paper out.
That's right. I'm going to make sure everybody else gets their paper, too.
On time.
Quickly. Or early.
Efficiently. Early. You heard it here first, folks. Early.
Read my lips. Early mail.
So there it is. Early mail. That's what he's running on, folks. Hashtag Postmaster Shaun. All right. Anyway, that was my fact. I thought it was astounding.
That is awesome.
It also it should show you the great respect that we have for the Postmaster General.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And the respect that I'm entitled to.
Exactly. Yes. Clearly. And we're not shown, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Get it together, U.S. government. Okay, so, this is my next one is an example of how, like, big things happen and history just sort of picks and chooses what we remember,
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. People's history of the United States is full of that. Exactly.
Like, there's the history that we're prescribed in school, and then there's the history that actually happened in addition to all that history. And so this one was a really interesting little nugget I found. So the post office was actually run by a demonic cabal for 6 years during the 1980s.
The 80s, wow.
Yeah, the 1980s. The demoness Charlotta murdered the Postmaster General, and nobody even noticed.
They didn't notice, or they just respected too much?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
The official story, all right, is that nobody noticed.
Okay.
But, they could have been trying to save their asses. It's that whole mistakes were made bullshit, everybody trying to dodge the blame. Buck stops where? Who knows?
What a ballsy move going after the top job in the post office.
Yeah, and
to be fair, I want to let you know right now that if this is how this works, you have to start some training to take out the postmaster, who is a woman, or who was a woman recently. It's a man now. I'm sorry. I think it's a man. I may have to cut this out. Anyway, I am looking it up, but anyway.
Well, what's interesting is that eventually Charlotta got bored with the position and resurrected the Postmaster General to resume his duties, which he did. And she just went back to hell.
She was like, fuck this, I'm out.
It's too much work. And the Postmaster General did it, even though he came back from hell with his skin inside out and his eyes turned backwards.
Not only did she best him in physical combat, but also banished him to hell.
And brought him back to a living hell of constant agony. And yet he still, Augustus Tomlinson, ran the post office efficiently and well until his successor, challenged him. A lot of people say Augustus let that guy win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was my second fact.
Just to clarify, it is now going to be a man. The new one is going to be a man. Is it
me?
Who is not you? Unfortunately, I can edit Wikipedia right now. We can make it happen. I'll edit it. I'll edit it to say that this guy is the Postmaster General, or designated, which he's supposed to be. Starts in June. And then I'm going to put, yeah, right, not if he meets my boy Sean Hamill in the parking lot of an Arby's in the woods of Alabama like a man, so that he can...
We have to meet in the octagon beneath the postal...
But he's not there yet.
So if I can get to him before...
Yes.
Then I am legally entitled to his
yes.
position.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So anyway, we'll talk about training. I don't want to give anyone away. Like, we're going to start training. I'm not going to give anyone away. We don't want to give them any advantage. I don't want to even know that they know that we're. I don't want them to know that we're coming.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So, all right. Your third fact.
My third fact, and this one is a goddamn doozy. The Post Office Act of 1792 was like, listen here, fellas. Because you're the only people that vote.
Listen here, white fellas.
He said, yes. He said, you're the only one that vote and matter in this society, America. He said, if you mess with the mail, because they used to send a lot of money through the mail, so it was a big fucking deal, right? And this is like in the 1700s and shit. They were like, the first time you mess with the mail, not only are you going to jail or to prison for 10 years, you're going to get a public whipping. 10 years for your first offense. Would you like to hear what the punishment was for the second offense?
So after I've done my 10 and I get out?
Yes, and you do it again.
That happened.
Death. The post office was going to kill you.
I mean, at that point, if you haven't learned your lesson after 10 years in the can and a whipping, it's probably time to check out.
But death, there's no third strike. You're out on the second one.
Baseball hadn't been invented yet. How are they?
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. That's fair. They didn't know that people got 3 chances. Yeah. And so that was, for me, the biggest shocker of, and you know what? I respect it.
Me too. I respect the U.S. Postal Service too much. And in fact, if I'm made Postmaster General, I'm going to reinstate that. So
we're bringing it back.
Yeah, I think legally I can do it unilaterally. I don't even need Congress's approval.
You're the Postmaster General.
Right.
So.
Right. It's a position that doesn't have a lot of power, but its power is unquestionable.
Right. It doesn't have a lot of it's more like a strong governor. kind of does what they want.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like Governor Tarkin from Star Wars.